better. The foundation in which a person lives his whole life in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in being God conscious, and everything that a person does is based upon the happiness of Allah. Is that foundation better? Allah asks, that foundation in which a person sways from here to there, there is no sense of complete direction. One minute a person practices, the next minute a person is extremely disobedient to Allah. One minute a person is praying their salah 5 times a day, the next minute a person doesn't pray salah at all. One minute a person ensures that their ego is kept under control, their nafs, their shahwa is kept under control. The next minute they slip and they can do whatever they want. So Allah is asking, so which condition is better? Which foundation, which grip is better? The grip in which a person always lives their life in accordance with the teachings of Allah, in being God conscious. And that's the main point. Imam Nawawi and others mention the point, what does taqwa mean? People translate it in many, many ways. Some say it's the fear of Allah, to be always dreading Allah. Some say it means to be conscious of God. Some say it's an issue about emotions, that as long as you know in your heart that you are the Muslim, should be practicing, that's sufficient. But the true reality is, taqwa means God consciousness. Of course, that brings in the fear of Allah, as the hadith of Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, where the Prophet ﷺ says that live your life in between fear and hope. All your life, you should be very careful, very diligent, very vigilant, ensuring that every step that you take, you are careful. You should be fearful that if you go wrong, if you disobey Allah, you'll be thrown into the fire of Jahannam. You should be fearful that Allah will be angry with you on the day of resurrection if you slip. And then, what is raja? What is hope? That at the time of death, you have 100% hope. That all my life, I was God conscious. Every step I took, I made sure that I keep in my mind that Allah is watching over me. Is my Allah happy with me? Every amal, every action, every transaction, every conduct, our akhlaq, our character, everything circulates around this thing in life where you think to yourself, is my Allah happy with me? If you have lived your life like that, then inshallah, at the time of death, you will have raja, you will have hope. That inshallah, all my life, I've done everything I can. I've done all the revision I can, all the preparation I can. Now, when the exam comes, when I have to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then inshallah. Because I know I have prepared, inshallah, the mercy of Allah will be upon me, and Allah will have mercy on me, and Allah will enter me to Jannah. If you flip that over, a person who lives their life, following their nafs, following their ego, however they want, however they like, never think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, never think about the consequences of what they are doing, never think about what will be waiting for them in their graves and in the hereafter, then that person does what they want, how they want, whenever they want. There's no restriction for those people. And Allah is reminding us that don't be among those people who just does what they want, however they want. No. Rather, everything that you do, your personal life, your business life, your spiritual life, your deeni life, your sharia life, everything should be around the teachings of Allah. How can we keep Allah happy? How can Allah be ever happy with me? How can I ensure that Allah's mercy falls upon me on the day of resurrection? Many argue that, taqwa and this God consciousness, this thing that I have to always be aware of God. I have to always be aware that Allah is watching over me. This is something about emotion. Let me do what I want. I don't have to practice. I don't have to pray my salah. I don't have to go for hajj once in a lifetime. As long as I'm a good Muslim, alhamdulillah. That is the deception of shaytan. There cannot be a bigger deception. Shaytan makes us feel this way. That, as long as I'm a Muslim, as long as I say la ilaha illallah, I will enter into Jannah, that is sufficient. That nothing else is needed. That will get me into Jannah. There cannot be a bigger mishap than this mishap. To think this way, that just because I said la ilaha illallah, I don't need to pray my salah, I don't need to have good contact with people, I don't need to do anything, I don't have to stay away from sin. Because I said la ilaha illallah, it's a matter of emotion. As long as my emotion is aware of Allah, that will enter me to Jannah. Cannot be a bigger mistake. The ulama of tafsir, the scholars of the commentary of the Holy Quran, say about taqwa, this point of God consciousness. That God consciousness is such a thing. Fear of Allah, thinking that Allah is always watching over you is such a thing that it has a practical influence on a person. And hence, a person, however they may act, however they may dress, which is the point I mentioned a few weeks ago about the method of dressing, however we come across with people, however we do things, everything has a shining resemblance of this taqwa. That person knows that this person is always remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This person, I can trust him with £1,000 without a worry, without writing any paperwork, without going through any process, because I know that this person is God conscious. They will never try to slip their feet. They will always try their best to ensure that Allah is watching over them. And people automatically become aware of those individuals who are God conscious. So it's not just about emotion, it's about practicality. We should be such Muslims that anybody should be able to trust us. Not because we're good people, of course, good people, but more importantly so, people know that this is a practicing brother, this is a practicing sister. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in another part of the Quran, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu taqullah, wa tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat liqad, wattaqullah, inna Allah khabirun bima ta'malun. Allah says, O you who believe, fear Allah. Be God conscious. Remember, Allah is always watching over you. وَالْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. And be very, very careful. Keep a micro-management of everything that you're doing and you're sending to the hereafter. Because why? Allah will question you about every single thing. And this ayah, وَالْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ, before it Allah says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, fear Allah, be God conscious. And after this section, Allah again says, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. For the ones who understand Arabic, they will know that whenever one thing comes before a sentence and after a sentence, it is used with ta'keed to emphasize a point. And here Allah is emphasizing that whatever you send in the hereafter, whatever Allah will make you accountable for, before it and after it, always make sure you are God conscious. If you are God conscious, you know Allah is watching over you. You always fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You remember Jannah and Jahannam. Then, inshallah, whatever you send for the hereafter will not be something that you have to think about. It's not something that you have to lament about. You will not be like those people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in another part of the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Haqq, Allah says that when the book is given to them, when the a'mal is given to them, they say, hi, if only I was not given my book. If only Allah did not give me my book. If only Allah did not show me my book, I would have been better off. Now Allah has given me my book, and Allah says, the book will be given in the left hand. Allah will put their a'mal in the left hand. And when they look in their left hand in their a'mal, they will see everything. And they will see the whole life that's in front of them. And they will say, but if only Allah did not give me my book, I would have been better off. While on the other hand, those people who are always God conscious, always remembering Allah in every minute action they do, Allah says about them that their book will be given to them in the right hand. And they will say, Ha, umuqra'u kitabiya, inni dhanantu anni mulaqin hisabiya. They will go running around on the plains of Arafah, on the plains of the day of judgment. And they will say to everybody, Ha, umuqra'u kitabiya. Look, this is the book I have been given to read. This is the book I knew I will get. I knew Allah kept for me Jannah. Why? Because I knew every action that I had done in my life, it was to make sure that I had done it in accordance to the teachings of Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Taqwa is so important. It is the crust of every person's action. So many examples will be given. Let's take one example for instance. Hot days. Very warm days, majority of the people are taking off their clothes. Women, you'll find bare skin everywhere. What is the responsibility of a Muslim? It is the essence of taqwa that a Muslim man and a Muslim woman. A man will not glance his eyes upon a ghayr mahram or upon another woman. It is haram. And a person's taqwa will tell them that does not matter what comes in my way, I will make sure I control my eyes. Like the organs, the private organs have the zina, they are zina of the eyes, they are zina of the ears, they are zina of the nose. For a man, example of a man, for a man to smell a woman's perfume on purpose and to take lust from that is zina of the nose. To hear a woman's conversation and to lust over that is a zina of the ears. And very easily, the zina of the eyes. And shaytan tries everything to make sure that when a man glances his eyes upon another woman, then Allah, he makes sure, the shaitan makes sure that that look, that glance is so good to him that he can't wait for the next.